Good evening, everyone. I am Andrew Leosa, Chairperson of Bronx Community Board 7 Budget, Personnel, and Ethics Committee. It is approximately 6:07 p.m. on Thursday, January 19th, 2023. I will begin the meeting by, as usual, reading the committee guidelines. The committee agenda is as follows, and that is we will do attendance. We will be reviewing the attendance of the committee members. We will be reviewing the attendance records of the community board 7 members and any new business, old business, and then, of course, we will adjourn. Here is the committee guidelines. On December 21st, 2022, Mayor Adams issued Executive Order 291, extending the state of emergency through January 20th, 2023. Accordingly, boards are able to continue to act under the State of Emergency section of Video Conferencing Law, Chapter 56 of the Laws of 2022, Part WW. This allows the board to continue remotely. Minutes and video recording will be made available on our website. If you are calling into the meeting on the conference phone, use the conference controls while joining from landline or cell by calling dial-up number. To hear all available commands, enter ** on your phone. *6 will mute or unmute yourself. And * or *9 for virtual hand raise. And don't forget, like I always do, to do *9 after you're finished, so your hand will be lowered and people don't confuse that you want to be recognized again. How we will run this meeting is as follows. Code of conduct for the meeting, penalties and actions. Bronx Community Board 7 has the right to remove and or ask a member of the public to leave a meeting or block participation of anyone who engages in inappropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene or offensive images or language, personal attacks, threats, or any other behavior that reasonably impedes the orderly administration of the meeting. Repeated offenses will be reviewed by the board's executive committee and any other assigned committee for a ban. The amount of time to be objectively determined by the above committees of the participant in the event of repeated disruptive behavior. If in-person outbursts or attacks continue, this will be considered disturbing the peace and the authorities shall be summoned. Everyone besides the speaker presenter will stay muted throughout the meeting. After each presentation is over, I will inquire if committee members have questions. Committee members will signify that they have a question by pressing the raised hand button on your screen, Zoom, or request to speak through the chat or when the chair opens the floor. Members of the public who have joined through the online link will be able to ask questions and make a brief statement on the item after each presentation and after the committee has an opportunity to ask clarifying questions by pressing the raised hand button on your screen, Zoom, or request to speak through the chat or when the chair opens the floor. Only those recognized by the chair of the committee will be allowed to speak during the allotted time. We will stay on topic with the agenda items. Any other items will be acknowledged by the chair in new business or addressed at the next meeting, granted there is time and the committee agrees on the topic. Following the questions, discussion, and public comment portion, the committee will begin their discussions after each presentation agenda item and will conclude with the decision to vote on a recommendation. When the agenda is finished, the meeting will be adjourned. If there are any questions related to the meeting software to our process, please use the chat function or raise hand function now or contact the acting district manager. Any questions? The item on the agenda and the purpose of the meeting to address the attendance issues. I will now do the attendance of the committee. And I'll say your name and just indicate that you are present by saying your name. Andrew Leosa, Chair. I am present. Eric Asensio.
Eric Asensio, present.
Edgar Ramos.
Edgar Ramos, present.
Barbara Stronzer.
Barbara Stronzer is present.
Jahira Arias,
Sahira Arias present.
as usual, 100% attendance. Thank you for that. Okay, so as we all know, not to repeat, but I will, it is vitally important that people attend meetings. If you are a board member, you're expected to attend meetings. If you are assigned to a committee, you are expected to attend that committee meeting. Just a reminder, and I see people slipping up all the time, there is no such thing as an excused absence. Yes, it is helpful, and we encourage board members to contact committee chairpersons, whoever's running the meeting in advance to say, you know what, hey, I can't make it, just so that they know. So when the person taking attendance calls your name, they know that you're probably not going to be there. But there's no such thing as an excused absence. It's not in our bylaws. It doesn't exist. What does exist are the requirements, and everybody can look at it. It's publicly available, and attendance is taken by committee chair people and anybody chairing a committee. Okay, we do have a quorum, and just a caution, we will be discussing attendance records, which are public information. If anybody has anything to share concerning that board member that might be private information, I would suggest that you first request that we go into executive session where that private information can be discussed. So otherwise, we are just going by the attendance records. And thank you to the board staff people for diligently providing the attendance records for our consideration. Okay, so we have 3 absences and 2 board members who have violated the requirements of the Community Board 7 bylaws. And the first person is Yenny Medina. I don't know if that person is on attending this meeting, and if any board members have anything to share concerning this individual, speak up. Again, if it's something of a private nature, please make a motion to go into executive session. Otherwise, I will request a motion to send a letter to this board member concerning they're not adhering to the attendance guidelines of the Bronx Community Board 7 bylaws. Do I have a motion? Someone care to make that motion?
I move we send a letter to Yenny Medina, letting her know that she's in violation of Community Board 7's bylaws.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Eric? Okay, so the motion on the floor for a vote is to send a letter to Yenny Medina regarding her attendance at Bronx Community Board 7. Go through the okay, Andrew Leosa, I support the motion. Eric Asensio,
I support the motion.
Edgar Ramos,
I support the motion.
Barbara Stronzer,
Barbara Stronzer supports the motion.
Jahira Arias,
Sahira Arias supports the motion.
motion passes unanimously. Thank you. The second board member, Adeline Walker Santiago, same issue, 3 absences in violation of Bronx Community Board 7 attendance requirements as it appears in the Community Board 7 bylaws, publicly available. And I'd like for someone to make a motion to send a letter to that board member regarding their lack of attendance, adherence to the Community Board 7 bylaw attendance requirement. Make that motion, please.
Motion to send a letter to Adeline Workers.
Second that.
Do I have a second? No second?
Yeah,
You
second.
can't vote. Thank you. I will go through the board members. Angel Leos, the chair, approves the motion. Eric Asensio,
Kirk Asensio approves the motion.
Edgar Ramos,
Edgar Ramos approves the motion.
Barbara Stranza,
Barbara Stranzer approves the motion.
Yahira Arias,
Tahira Arias approves the motion.
thank you. Motion passes unanimously. And regarding the attendance, it was brought to my attention that, and it has to be confirmed, but apparently there are, I think, one or two board members who it was never communicated to them that they were assigned to a specific committee, so therefore their claim is that they didn't know they were supposed to attend the meetings, and therefore that's why they did not attend the meetings. And one of the issues is, and somebody may be able to clarify it to me, because I'm trying to remember what past practice was, but from what I remember, it was the board chairperson who assigns people to committees to ensure that that person is informed that they were assigned to a committee. I also know that we do publish publicly the list of committees and the people assigned to the committee, but I get it is possible that that board member just didn't search for their name and didn't happen to see their name on the committee that they were assigned to. So would anybody like to discuss that, or?
Yes, Andrew, the only people I assigned to committees since I became interim were the new members that we received this year. So that was done in the early fall, and all other committees were kept the same as the way Emmanuel set them up. So I'm sure they were on some list. Maybe it was a typo, I don't know. But I did not switch anybody around or touch any of the longstanding members, those who were put on before this past fall.
Okay, yeah, so I mean, my inclination is to be consistent, not appear that we are playing any favorites. The bylaws are clear. If a member is in violation of the bylaws, they will be sent the same letter that everybody else gets. And of course, the board will consider their response. And I'm not saying how people will affirmative or deny it, but the board member would be able to make their case and, for example, plausibly say, for whatever reason, I didn't know I was on the committee, and now that I know I'm on the committee, I will make amends and I will attend every single committee meeting. Or, you know, I can't make that committee on that day. I go bowling that night, although nobody bowls anymore. And they may request to be assigned to a different committee because of a scheduling problem. But I believe that to be consistent, they should follow the same procedures as anybody else. Does anybody have an opinion on that? Oh, I see a hand raised. Eric, thank you. I see your hand raised.
Jahira had her hand first, so if Jahira wants to go, that's okay.
Jahara?
Hi, so I wasn't made aware of these two members that were not attending the particular committee meeting. So Andrew, if you can circle with the staff and provide that information, I will make it my business to contact them as well and try to get, feedback as to how did this happen and when and where, so that we all are on the same page. If that's okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. If the board, whoever it was, didn't follow proper procedures, then it's not any fault of their own. So I don't believe that it is warranted to send them a letter. I believe a contact. We have to resolve the mechanics internally and find out what exactly went wrong. And it may not be that we need to send the letter in that situation. It's a good point. Eric,
Right,
you have your hand?
just to clarify, it seems like there was some miscommunication. The new board members were assigned to committees. However, for some reason, they never received communication from the board stating what committees they had been assigned to. And so that is what it's happening. So I think what Andrew was referring to was that moving forward, we will communicate in an email or a letter, or, informally, or it can be as formal as you want to, just to notify these board members, here, dear so-and-so, you're a member of the health committee, or so-and-so, you're a member of the parks committee. And these are your responsibilities. The meeting happens on these dates. And I think that's what the miscommunication was. And because I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm not sure if it was the staff's responsibility to send out this notification. So if it was, I can definitely follow up with that.
Yeah.
That was going to be my question, actually. If
Yes.
there was a procedure after the chairperson assigns, if there was an email or some record saying to this committee board member as to which committee they have been assigned to. And then the other question is, Andrew, are you saying that therefore we don't need to send a letter at this moment to these members? Or you're saying that we should send a letter because procedure needs to be followed?
Right. If we didn't follow proper procedure, then it's a mistake that we made. It's our responsibility. Therefore, I don't believe we should be sending a letter.
Okay.
And to clarify, and we should clarify, because not in our bylaws. I don't think we have to be so picky, but my opinion, we, by definition, our chairperson assigns the board member to a committee. Technically, it is voted on by the general board, basically backing up what the chairperson decided to do. And therefore, I would think that ultimately it's the chairperson's responsibility that it gets done, that the person is communicated with. So, for example, the board chairperson could say to staff, hey, staff, I assigned so-and-so to so-and-so committee. You, staff, send an email to that person. And then I would think, informally, if people are not attending meetings, there's nothing wrong with picking up the phone and saying, hey, what's going on? You missed 3 meetings or 2 meetings. Is everything all right? That's my impression. I'd like people's opinions on that. I see Edgar's hand raised and Eric also, but I'm not sure what that was.
I haven't lowered mine, I'm sorry, but I agree with what you're saying, Andrew.
Andrew, I think procedurally we should continue with sending the letters, right? Because then that gives the committee, the member, the opportunity to say that they were never notified, right? Not that they just haven't been going, not that they just chose, and then it would be within our responsibility to correct however that got created, right? Whether it was that they were never notified, or they did get the email or was sent to the wrong address. You know what I'm saying? But procedurally, I think we should continue with the letter. But because like you said at the beginning, you can give a reason of why you've been missing meetings, and then say, look, from now on, I'm gonna make it to meetings. We give them, 2-3 months. If they start coming to meetings that they now know about, then everything should just work out. But I think procedurally we should send out those letters, and just so that there's something documented as to what where the failure went, or even if there wasn't a failure, if nobody could figure out exactly what happened, just oops, now they know, now they're going to meetings, and everything is as it should be. Just an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, my concern is, especially if they're new board members, pick up the phone and call the borough president's office. Says, what are these people doing? They don't even know what the hell they're doing. They send me a letter that I'm not attending, and I don't even know I'm a member of the committee. So maybe
and it
we
sounds
could.
like and it sounds like they already communicated that to the staff or to whoever, right?
I'm sorry, I stomped on you. What was that again?
I said it sounds like they already communicated what happened, that they were not aware to you or to the staff.
Yes, they
Right.
communicated that to the staff, yes.
Right. So that's why I agree with Andrew that maybe we shouldn't send a letter, and hopefully they are aware and they will start coming to the committees and just keep monitoring their attendance closely.
I see some hands up. I think Helene was first, and then Hugo.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to say that I know when I was chair, if I had someone who wasn't coming, I think it is a good thing to do to just follow up, especially if the people are new. It makes someone feel that they do matter, and it's just a way to ensure that there hasn't been a problem. That's just, my opinion on that.
For that,
For the
Helene.
chair. Yeah.
Hugo, you're on.
I got a question. Are these procedures written down anywhere?
I didn't hear that. Can you speak up?
Sorry, are these procedures written down anywhere?
Yeah. So our bylaws. The purpose of the bylaw is not to cover every single nuance of the operations of the board. So our bylaws are clear about when somebody's in clear violation of the requirements. But in this case, they're not a clear violation. I think, as a community board, and we're the word community, I would err on the side of more of a community. We're not like, I don't know, the CIA or whatever. If there are new members who they already did, how do we know this? They already communicated to the staff that verbally they did communicate and say, well, I didn't even know I was on the committee. So they have already reached out, and it just seems kind of odd for the board to turn around and then send them this letter that kind of implies something different than what they did. So I'd rather not alienate people and make enemies. These are new board members, and I want them to feel valued. And our procedure fell through. We didn't do what we should have done, and it's if anything, we should apologize.
Okay, I just meant, do we have like guidelines in place to cover these type of things, written down as suggestions and stuff? Just in case, so that we have, if this pops up in the future, that type of thing. That was all.
Yeah, I mean, I think the impression I'm getting from everybody is we kind of all agree that procedure should be that the board chairperson who appoints a board member to a committee, they're appointed by the board chairperson. That board chairperson provides that information to the board, and the whole board votes on it at a monthly general board meeting. That so and so, here's everybody assigned to all these committees, and it behooves the board chairperson to make sure that it's done, to make sure that that board member is informed that they are a member of a certain committee. And it could take the shape of the board chairperson sending an email or calling the person, or it could be the board chairperson saying to the staff either by phone or email, probably email's best, but whatever, saying, hey, staff, make sure this person knows, send them an email, that they have been assigned to the committee. And more importantly, if they're not attending the committee, it's not a gotcha. We should be like calling that board member and say, hey, how can we help you? What's going on? We notice you haven't been attending meetings, that kind of thing. So I don't think we need to make it part of our bylaws. It just becomes too onerous. But if that's what people want, then that's what we'll do. A few more hands. I don't know who is next. We have to do board members first, and then we'll get to the public. So I don't know, Edgar or Toby, who was, I don't know who was on first, whoever.
So this is Toby. And as far as I know, I am a new member to Bronx Community Board 7. I was appointed this year. The only committee that I know for sure that I am on is Parks and Recreation. So I just wanted to say that, since I know that you have to be appointed by the chair as opposed to you saying, hey, this is an interest of mine, I would like to be appointed to this committee. So I am on the Parks and Recs committee, and then I do the general committee because I don't believe I've been appointed to any other committees. I just wanted to add to the conversation about what's the best way to let people know that they're on committees.
Thank you for that. I'm just curious, how were you informed, by phone or email, and who was the person that informed you that you were on the Parks Committee, assigned to the Parks Committee?
Barbara assigned me to the Parks Committee.
As her role as acting chairperson, correct? Okay.
I think she's the chair of the Parks Committee.
Yes, but I did it as the
Oh,
interim, and I believe I sent you an email, Toby.
Yes, you did.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
We are
Edgar, I
5 minutes into the next meeting, guys.
okay, we'll make it quick. Edgar?
Yeah, just a quick question. Of those people that have been notified that they've been missing meetings, when were they notified and have they made any meetings since they were notified?
So let me just clarify something. So even though we're talking about how new members are finding out which committee they're assigned to, this is pretty new. So their attendance, basically because they're so new, doesn't really count. So they attended meetings, they were appointed over the summer. They attended the first meeting in September. Attendance start counting in November, and then we didn't really host any meetings in December. So letters will be sent out to the board members who have missed attendance more than 3 times. However, the new members, their attendance, really we're just talking in terms of them being notified which committee they should attend. But we won't know what their attendance status is 3 or 6 months from now when we do another analysis of the attendance.
Okay, one last hand, member of the public?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just had 2 things. The first, I think this is why this issue should not have been tabled for months. If this discussion would have happened when it was originally on the agenda, we wouldn't have had this issue. The board threatens the public with the code of conduct, yet won't enforce its own bylaws on itself. I think that's a double standard. When you guys voluntarily chose to serve the public and the public didn't, we're just here. It's our meetings. And on the second thing, I wrote 2 letters and complaints to the BP's office and staff. Has that made it down to this committee yet? Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback. To my knowledge, I know I haven't received anything as of yet, but I will keep my eyes and ears open for any communication regarding any complaints. Thank you. And I think I will entertain a motion to end the meeting. We're now stomping on the other committee's time. Do I have a motion to end the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
You second,
Seconded.
all in favor, say aye.
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 The abstentions, any opposed? Thank you all. Great meeting. It is approximately 6:39 p.m.